Hey everyone, doesn't this food look delicious? Let me try not to like spill it all over my laptop. Okay, you can't see it, fuck it. It's kimchi and ramen in here. It's like Korean ramen. It's fucking delicious. So anyways, I just saw this video on YouTube of this Korean guy that's dating this black and Korean girl, and they're engaged. And this YouTube video is about them meeting his parents. And it actually, spoiler alert, it actually didn't happen because the parents are so racist. They don't like her and don't even want her to enter their home to even like properly meet her. Like they've never properly even meted her. And there have been like a bunch of instances already that the mom was like yelling at her, like cut them or something, some like crazy shit. And I was just like, man, that's some really fucked up shit, that the love of your life, like your parents are so racist and not even like meet them. So it got on, it really like struck a nerve with me because me myself, I'm Blasian, with a bunch of other things mixed into me. But anyways, my mother isn't actually that as bad as the mother in that YouTube video. So I've said this before, but my mother prejudiced, and it's really funny because she met my my fiance Yule for the first time on video chat. I think this was 2 weeks ago, and it's really funny because before and after the conversation, she was like semi like throwing shots at immigration, like him coming here and stuff like that. And I'm like, didn't you go through the fiance visa process yourself with my daddy? I'm like, don't act like you've been here in America all your life. You was an immigrant too. How fast we forget, right? But it's like she don't remember all that. She don't remember all that. So anyways, but we had this conversation years ago when I think this was after my divorce. And my mother was like, why don't you date other men than black men? And I was like, you got a problem with black men? And she was like, no, you always, date black men. Why not date other races? And I thought about it and then I did. But clearly her preference is white men. And she talks a lot of shit about black men. I don't know if it's because of her bitterness with my dad, because they are divorced, or she literally goes off the shit she sees on TV. And she watches a lot of TV. You hear me? Her Netflix subscription is popping. In fact, I should steal her Netflix password. Anyways, so... And over the years, I've heard this and recognized this and labeled it as she is prejudiced against black people. And people like that hear me say that and say, how is that possible? She had you and your brother. I'm like, oh, it's possible. She is Korean. You hear me? I don't know what it is about Koreans being extremely racist or prejudiced against black people. I really don't know what it is. But it is like heavily ingrained in the culture. Like when my dad went to go meet my mother's parents in Korea, very similar experience that the YouTuber had. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like my grandfather's test, and he was an alcoholic, was to literally get my dad drunk to see like how his character was, like how he really was and stuff like that, And my grandmother actually liked him off bat, surprisingly, because usually Korean mothers are like the worst ones. But and then my mom's like sisters were more like curious, but pretty much told the parents like, no, he's a good guy, give him a chance, stuff like that. And this was in the 1980s. Okay. So, and then if you don't know, folks like me that are biracial, that are half black and half Korean, if we go back to Korea, we are called some Korean term that pretty much means half breed. So think like Trevor Noah. Like, you know how you half black and half white, they have this like half breed race in South Africa. They got the same thing in Korea for us too. So that makes me feel really special to be biracial. So, I say this to say that that's really fucked up. That I was not really expecting to see it, that racism to that level with Korean folks, like in 2017. Like that kind of surprised me. And it's super fucked up because I couldn't have been her. I don't have no patience. If they wouldn't have let me up in the house, I would have bust up in the house like, you ain't sick. You better get out here and meet me. But then they would have been like, damn, she ratchet. Is she from that Love and Hip Hop show? I've seen her on TV before. That's how hoes get slapped. So she's a really sweet lady, really sweet girl. And they're literally judging her because she's half black. You know, like, damn. Like, it's just really disgusting how the global community treats black people. Like, it's really fucked up. It's super fucked up, you know? And, like, when my mother sees Yule, she sees a black man. But then he has this accent because clearly he's Cuban, so he speaks Spanish. So it's so funny, though. I think this is going to be a really interesting experience when he gets here because when people, damn, this noodles is good, but I'm on a roll. When people think of black or see black men, they really mean African American men. Let's be real. In the global community, when you see a black man, you really think African American, right? Because our American culture is put on all these different countries all over the world. So when they think black, they think African American. So Yule is going to fuck up the game when he comes here, except for New York, because New York is just a melting pot of folks. But when we eventually move back to Chicago, he going to fuck up the game. Because these Southside niggas are going, he look dressed, he got the Chicago hat on and everything, and they going to be like, what up, nigga? And he going to be like, he'll say it, but it'll be with the accent, and they just going to stop in their tracks and be like, what you say? And he'll probably say like something like, oh, how are you? Like being really friendly. And they going to be like, yo, dog, where are you from? Like, it's going to fuck them all up. It's so funny. But it's just like, it's just really crazy. And I feel like my mother is already judging him from, like, I could see her face from the short conversation that they had on video chat. But once she actually sees him and has a conversation, because they both have accents. And I'm just like, Ma, how you gonna be prejudiced when you in the same boat? You are an immigrant that is a non-native English speaker being like, it blows my mind. Like, it really does. And Yule does not fit into what you think the typical black man is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, he's fucking the game up. I can't wait till he gets here. So anyways, I thought I would share part of my ethnic experience here. So post in the comments if y'all have questions or thoughts. But shit's about to get really interesting in 2018. But I will keep y'all entertained and updated.